BTB Kicks here, and today we're going to be talking about how I learned to stop being so nice in business. I do think this is very important, especially if you're trying to grow your business and make it as best as you can be. So like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the video. We're going to start things off with our number 5 topic: why giving too many discounts can make people value your service less. Now, to start things off, I'm not going to say having discounts is all inherently bad. It's really when you kind of just make that your whole identity, and just if anybody comes in, you allow them to bargain with you to give them the best deal possible. You're honestly starting to train your customers to believe that your services aren't as valuable as you put them down to be on that pricing sheet on your menu. So by giving out deals constantly, you're not only shorting yourself, but you're also training your customers to expect a deal every time they come in. First off, that you don't want to do that to yourself, because you're missing out on money, leaving money on the table. But also, you don't want customers like that, where they expect a deal every time and then you're not getting customers because you're not throwing deals. Then they have power over you, when in all reality, you should technically have power over them, because they're coming to you, the expert, for your service. Now, like I said, giving discounts and deals here and there is not a bad thing. I did 50% off for almost 2 years at my shop. When I started to realize how much money I was missing out on, and how when customers would come in and try to play me and act like they didn't already get their 50% off, or send other people in to bring their shoes, that's when I had to start chopping it down, because I started to realize the negative effects of having such a deal like that in my shop, and people were expecting for me to do my best work for the cheapest price, which is not realistic. Moving on to topic number 4, letting people pay later creates unnecessary stress. So with that being said, at my shop, I don't do pay later. I do everything up front, because at the end of the day, I know that I'm gonna do what I say I'm gonna do, as far as getting your shoes done and bringing them back as close as we can to, how they once were. I can't rely on people to do the same for me and take their word, and especially when they say, oh, can I just pay half now, or can I put a deposit down right now and then I'll pay the other portion of it when I come to pick up my shoes. I can't do that. I've been burned before, as far as somebody would bring me some shoes. When I first started, somebody had a bunch of shoes, they brought them in. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, just give me the half now, and then once they're ready and you come pick them up, we'll get the other half. Okay, cool. I gave them a timeline, was checking in with them throughout the process to let them know when I expect to have the shoes done. Then of course, when they were all done, I went ahead and called them and said, hey, can you come pick them up? They're all done, they're all ready for you. Oh yeah, man, I'm on the way. Hours and hours, then the whole day goes by, he doesn't show up. Call him the next day. Hey, like you said you were gonna come, are you gonna come by today? And then it becomes, you're chasing down your money, and it's just stressful, because when you're running a business, you have to have good cash flow. So if you don't have good cash flow, there's no money coming in, and you really can't deploy that money back into your business to reinvest or upgrade for equipment or any supplies or anything like that. Or you really can't even pay yourself, honestly, or your staff, if you have staff, if you don't have constant cash flow. By doing the pay later situations and people, kind of holding up your money, it kind of cripples you to an extent. Instead of going through that altogether, I removed that, and now I get all my money up front. I know what I'm gonna do, and I can finish the shoes next day, same day, 2 weeks from today. I'm still waiting on people to come pick up their shoes. People will pay for the next day or the same day expedited, and they won't come and pick up their shoes. So you might as well get your money up front, because you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, and let that be it, and then have all the benefits of having your money. I had somebody actually comment in the comment section of one of my other videos saying he couldn't buy, the name brand cleaners to start out his sneaker cleaning business. My instruction to him was to find 2 or 3 different people who you could message and who was interested in having their shoes cleaned, and just offer to clean them for $10 a piece, especially since you're starting out, and then ask for the money up front. $10 is not a lot of money, so I'm pretty sure some people would be willing to give him that up front, so then he can have the money to deploy into the business, reinvest into the business to get his cleaning supplies and actually do the work. So that's just another perk of getting your money up front. You're able to put more into your business and more into yourself at the end of the day. Number 3 on the list, saying yes to everything burns you out. I had this issue when I started my shop as well. I just wanted to be a people pleaser. I wanted to leave every single customer with a positive experience, no matter how daunting the task. If I didn't know how to do something, I was gonna figure it out and make sure it got done. especially if the customer wanted me to do it. Just because I wanted to please everyone and get as much business as possible. Little did I know this would become a big pain point for me, and is one of the main reasons why I started to condense what we do in the shop. Instead of offering reglues and color matching and all these different like sole swabs and tab swabs to actually learn how to do it and do it at a high level, it can take a lot of time and patience and just trial and error, but you don't really have time for all that when you're trying to service a whole community of people while having a storefront, while having it being by yourself for one at the very start, or having a small staff that isn't really experienced in those categories. So it can just add a lot of stress. And that's what I faced early on when I was trying to do reglues for people and they weren't coming out how I wanted them to come out. I felt bad because I never wanted to give a bad service to a customer. I pride myself on giving the best services possible and getting the job done. But I realized I couldn't execute at a high level and at a consistent rate while trying to figure out how to do these certain tasks and services, such as the regluing and the color matching. And I didn't even attempt to do a midsole or swap it. Like, you know, I'm not even gonna do that stuff if I can't even do a reglue. I stopped trying to learn and stop trying to take that stuff in. I just wanted to satisfy the customers from a point of the stuff that I already knew how to do, which was clean shoes very well, ice shoes very well, do paint touch-ups and things like that, just simple colors, black and white, or something that's already color matched from Angelus. When I condensed that and those other services off of my menu altogether, I was able to deliver faster, deliver a higher quality service, and more customers were leaving happy, of course. And I mean, obviously, if I did mess up on those other pairs, I was compensating for it. Ultimately, taking a loss to retain that relationship with the customer so they kept coming back regardless of my mistake. So I would either discount the service, give them a refund, or give them some sort of free clean next time they came in or needed something done. And of course, I'd apologize. But that's just one thing that I learned. You don't want to take everything. You don't want to be a yes man. You don't want to say yes to everything. Just do what you're good at, stay in your lane, and you'll be good. With that being said, we're moving on to our number 2 topic, which kind of correlates to the other one of pleasing customers and having a backbone. Being professional does not mean being a pushover. You got to know when to say like yes to a service. If you know you can't do it or don't feel like doing it, or know you can't do it to a certain level, don't agree to it. But even then, leading into our second topic, I've had customers try to press me and or try to get me to do something that I didn't feel comfortable doing. They'd be like, oh, yeah, no, you could try it. No, try it on my shoes. I want you to. Well, in that case, I'd tell them no, like, I don't think so, sir. I'm sorry. Like this, we're not gonna do it. It's just not our expertise. I'd rather not. And then, I mean, they have to respect that at the end of the day. And I've also had customers say to me, like they try to press me and say, I could have cleaned these myself. They look the same when I brought them in. Those type of customers, if you know you do what you're supposed to do, those type of customers, usually when they say stuff like that, they're running game on you. They're trying to get one over on you. And usually most times they're just trying to get a reaction out of you and see if you'll fold into getting a service for free or at a discount. I've had customers try to do that. Had a customer try to do a chargeback on me when we did their shoes. We did them at an expedited pace. They paid for the expedite, we got it done, and we also got them new laces for the shoes. The shoes looked like a completely different pair of shoes. They were absolutely like cooked, but now they were back in action and looking very, very good. You know, with that, you want to keep in mind everything that you do and stand your ground. If you know you did everything you were supposed to do and you were upfront about everything with the customer when they came to drop off the shoes. Now, in some cases, you might have to take the L just to be like, okay, cool, you got your money back, like don't come back. Like you obviously won't tell a customer never come back. I think they would know not to. Yeah, in difficult situations, sometimes it's not worth the fight. You have to give them a refund. It's like, all right, just like, okay, you have your money, leave, like don't come back. Like obviously, like I said, you don't say that. That's how you start a fight. In most cases, you know, stand your ground and just say, I'm sorry, unfortunately, I can't give you nothing, or basically, unfortunately, I can't do anything for you. I let you know beforehand what to expect of the services, of your sneakers, and didn't promise you brand new. I promised you better than how they looked before, and to me, they look a lot better than how they looked before. So there's nothing they can really say to that. It's just fact. Of course, if they get even more rambunctious, that's when you would be like, okay, cool, here, just leave. Here's your refund. Wiping my hands with them. Don't be a pushover, man. Just stand your ground. You know what you're about. But at the end of the day, your safety matters too. So if they get a little rambunctious, you know, Go ahead. And before we jump into our very last topic of the video, I want to tell you all about my Discord. So what my Discord is a sneaker restoration group or hub for sneaker restorers from around the United States and outside of the country. We all come together, we're all looking to grow our businesses, and we're all like-minded individuals who believe in each other and sneaker restoration as an industry. We have our weekly calls that we hop on. We talk about our different issues, we talk strategy. I'm in there and you'll have access to me 24/7. That's the main idea of it. Just a place where we can all go in, get knowledge and tips from each other, help each other out where we can, and grow. So if you're interested in joining that, feel free. Link is in the description down below. And last but not least, number one on our list, clear boundaries protect your business. Having clear boundaries, rules, paperwork, and things of that nature when it comes to doing business in your shop can protect you from a lot of stress, headaches, and the day-to-day that comes with being your own boss and running your own business. Rules can be regarding payment, pricing, pickup time, turnaround time, everything around the moon, whatever makes everything transparent and clear for the customer and looks out for your best interest. Because in business, things can get a little hectic and you want to make sure you're protected anytime you're doing any business with anyone. So having everything all outlined and clear for the customer to understand before they even leave their shoes with you protects you from most of the drama, and it's pretty cut straight and dry. I usually don't have that much drama in my shop, little to none, unless somebody's trying to get over on me. But with all my rules in place, my pricing in place, and how I have things structured now, everything is smooth sailing. If y'all want to know about more of the policies and or structure that I have in my shop, let me know in the comments down below. But all in all, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all found it valuable and can take some of my points and use them in your own businesses. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoy the video or have any other ideas of things you all want me to talk about personally, so I can help you all move forward with your businesses. Discord is in the description down below once again. And before we head out of here, I'm gonna need you to hit that like button. I'm gonna need you to hit that subscribe button, and I'm gonna need you to comment down below. And I will see you all in the next video.